It's the Sean Widmer Podcast. It's a journal by someone that just really doesn't like to write.
I'm hitting record on this without having anything planned, so we'll see how this one goes today. It is 8:47 at night, and that is late. But I wanted to get a podcast up. I want to keep the streak alive. I've enjoyed doing it. I want to keep it going. Whether it is going to be a good one or not, I doubt it. I mean, the big story today, I'm getting ready to record my midday show on the mountain, KDRK in Spokane. Dolly Parton passed away at 80. And it's one of those crazy things because she was larger than life. She was a massive superstar. She's one of the biggest country music artists ever to make music. Before my time, I know some of her songs. Obviously, I've heard her songs, but they've never been ones I've sought out because they were just before my time, and that's not the sound. The sound of her music is not the sound that I like. But that doesn't mean that I don't understand the importance of Dolly Parton to the world of country music and just the world of music in general. She also seemed like an awesome person. She seemed great. She made a theme park. She just seems really cool. And it's been interesting now watching, as the internet does the internet stuff. And people just can't help but just spread fake stuff. Now, this isn't even fake stuff about what happened yesterday with her passing. This is like all of the little rumors that aren't true that have been talked about by her over time that everyone's like, oh, she wrote Jolene and I will always love you on the same day. That's one of the craziest stats ever. When she denied doing that years ago. It's just wild though, because everyone wants to have a crazy Dolly Parton fact to share. And so they share something and like 80% of the things aren't true, which is such a bummer because there are a ton of really cool things that she did. So then what did it lead to? I'm looking online and it leads to people arguing about, well, that fact's not true. Yes, it is, blah, 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 blah. And we lose sight of what started that and what we should be focused on, which is the tragedy in it. But it's just not how things work in 2026. It's crazy. It's crazy to watch that. All right, is that all I have for today? Is that it? Is that all I have? I had a night last night, and I'm still feeling it today. I think it affected my day. It affected my mood. I had a really bad basketball day last night. I shot the ball horribly. I passed the ball horribly. I played defense well, and I lost every single game that I played. And that was frustrating. And especially, it's one of those things I'm working really hard on the defensive end. I realized I wasn't shooting well, so I just kind of gave up on that. I'm working really hard on defense. There is one thing about pickup basketball that is tough, is if you dial in and work really hard on defense, and then someone on your team gives up the most easy bucket ever, it will compile on you in a terrible way. Because you're working hard at the worst, not the worst part of the game, but truly the hardest part of the game, which is trying to shut someone down. And it just so happened last night, the matchups, I kept guarding the best guy on the other team. So I'm guarding this guy, Josh, who's just a brute to guard. And somehow, as I'm making up for the fact that I can't make a shot, I'm actually playing defense well. He's not scoring. I've limited their best scorer to scoring 0, which, if that's the case, we should get to 18 points first. And then it's backdoor cut, no one's playing defense, layup. Offensive rebound, because no one's boxing out, layup. Offensive rebound, no one's boxing out, layup. Wide open 3, because someone's not playing defense, or they cheated because that was going to be easier on them than actually chasing their guy around. Bucket. And I lost it. I had one of those nights where the mix of the offense struggling for me and then watching guys not play defense, but then willingly shooting wild shots on the other side, it was one of those nights that was not fun to be on a basketball court with me, I'm sure. And I was even so bummed out afterwards. We normally go out for drinks after. We go to this place called Banners here in town, and we go get our drinks, and we go hang out and catch up on the weeks and just see how everyone's doing. I just drove straight home like a big child. I just drove home. And part of that is, you go, well, what a baby move. But part of that is also I know myself well enough to know that if I had gone there, at some point I would have offended somebody at the table with like, hey, were you at any point tonight considering playing defense? Was that even an option for you at any point? Well, I did. Well, you didn't. because I will remember, I don't remember a lot of stats from basketball games, but I remember how many offensive rebounds people give up, and I remember how many wide open layups you give up, and so I have receipts. And so I knew, I text Mike about it, I'm like, I know I'm not going to be a valuable asset for beers tonight. It's better if I go home, record the Mountain Midday show, and move on. But it is the double edge of the double-edged sword of basketball, where basketball is my absolute favorite thing to do every week in terms of my hobbies. I love getting out there and playing hoops. Now, so 90% of the time I'm having the best time ever. It brings me this adrenaline rush that I carry through that night. I carry it through the next day. I'm just like feeling it because it's so stinking fun. And it doesn't take a ton for that to kick in. It just takes a night where I make a couple shots, period, and get it maybe a win. But then the other side of it, when everything breaks wrong, don't win a game, don't shoot well, get frustrated with teammates who aren't playing hard, it breaks bad, and then I'm in a bad spot. And the other problem, and this is just a self thing that I got to reel in, and so I'm trying to focus on it. I think that this happened at the beginning of the year, and I mentioned it on the podcast. My hip started hurting. Well, I thought it was my lower back, and then I realized it's my hip. And I started doing some research on it, and one of the things was like, look, if you've put on weight, you're not built for that at your age. And sure enough, I'm like, my hip started hurting, and I knew I had put all that weight back on that I had taken off last summer, and I can feel it. I can feel it in my clothes. I can feel it when I'm moving. And sure enough, I go out and play basketball at this number that I don't want to be at. And what happens? My hip is busted up today. Busted up. I'm hobbling around because it hurts so bad. And I know that's on me. That's on me not being dedicated to being like, okay, well, you don't need to eat 14 hamburgers at lunch every day. You don't need to do that. You didn't need to get the fry refill. When they said, do you need the fry refill? You didn't need to say yes. You didn't need to pick off all the kids' food. When the kids finish dinner, you don't need to eat all their scraps. You don't need to do that. So I know this is on me, and it's just going to take some work to get back there. But when I tell you everything broke bad last night, it did. It's why you didn't get a podcast earlier today, because I was just like, man, I'm going to go turn the mic on and be like, this person, figure it out this week in your garage, defend the chair, play defense against the chair. Do you need me to send you box out drills? And I knew that was what I was going to do if I recorded earlier today. So I'm glad I didn't, because now we get to record it like this. The finger points at me. That's who the finger points at, not anybody else. Although I do need some of those guys to play defense, because we're not going to win a lot of games if we're not playing any defense. And it is very fun to win games and play multiple games as winners. Jonathan texts me, and he didn't have anything to say about the Mariners, even though last night they did it in dramatic fashion, and Cal Raleigh hit 3 home runs last night. I don't believe in that superstition of like, well, it's actually, I hate it. I hate when people say, well, if I say one thing, then the team will do the other. I am the curse. So if I say the Mariners are the worst team ever, then I'm going to make them win. I don't believe in that. I believe in a lot of superstitions, but not that. I think that's a cop-out. All I can do now is eat crow. They're 63-69. They beat the Phillies 9-2. They're on a bit of a 3 out of 4. They did give up 19 runs in one of the games, but this may be their strategy. And I don't know if this is what they're going to do. Is it one of those things where 3 days they play really hard, and then on the 4th day they throw out no one good, and they just say, look, we're going to lose on the 4th day, and pretty much use it as a bye and rest. And so then we've got an extra day of rest over every other team, and that's the strategy. So give up 100 runs, and then just lock in for the next 3 games, give up 100 runs, lock in for the next 3 games. They are still 3 games back of the wild card. They are still 6 games under 500, and really they still aren't great. So there are those 3 things looming, but they have won 6 of the last 10. They're on a bit of an upswing, and I'm willing to eat the crow. That's it. Okay, I gotta go. That's it for today. Hope you enjoyed. See ya.